Here we go. We're going to be in the floor today, y'all. So get ready. As I just told some of the ones coming on early, if getting into the floor is prohibitive for you, then do some of these moves. If you're not on the floor, up against a wall or a door or from your bed. Okay, so you can benefit from some of these moves if you'll think those positions. But always, I'm going to keep pushing to keep trying, because at some point you may find yourself in the floor and you're going to have to get up off the floor one way or the other. Okay, so we're going to do a lot of, I forgot to ask anybody that was with me on Friday. I'm just wondering how your arms were feeling. Anyway, some of you might have been a little sore. That's okay. All right. Here we are. Mobility Wednesday. I am barefooted. And one of the first things I'm going to do, believe it or not, is if I'm standing, I'm going to grab my pole. See? I'm going to grab my pole. And I'm going to go toes up. See that? Then I'm going to rotate into very splayed toes. That means open toes. I'm going to try to open the toes, and if they don't open, just push them into place. And then I'm going to rotate into those toes and just barely lift my heels. I don't want you going way up into your toe box where you're tottering. I just want you to lift the heels a little. And I want you to lift the heels enough to engage your gluteals. And see, I have my little bar right here. See how I'm doing little presses? Some people would say bounce. I don't want to say bounce. It's actually pressing, okay? Because I'm in control of it. Big breath through your nose. Drop your shoulders. Exhale. Yeah, rib cage up. You know the drill. See this? I'm in my toes right now, but I'm barely pulling my heels off the ground, like an inch. I could go way up. See, this is way up. I don't want you to go way up. Not yet. I have my heels 1 inch. 1 inch. My knees are soft. They're not locked, okay? Just soft. Tighten your tummy. You're using your pole. You can put both hands into it just like this and do these little tiny pulses. See these little tiny pulses that I'm doing right now? Let me tell you something. Let this be one of your moves that you do for 2 minutes through the day, every 30 minutes or so. When I say or so, I'm meaning every 20 to 40 minutes. You think of something like I'm doing right now that's contracting. See, I'm doing kind of a steady hold. My shoulders are down. I'm breathing through my nose. I'm pushing down into my pole gently. Do you see what I'm doing? I'm doing these little fluttering up and downs, okay? If you can do that past a minute, well, you're gonna be feeling it, okay? Then go into your heels, then pull your toes up. See how I'm pulling my toes up? I'm pulling them way up, way up, way up. And then I just rock back and forth. So once you've done that little flutter, I call it a little flutter bounce, okay? It's actually a pulsing that you're doing with your feet. That's one of the best things I know of for people, especially that have joint issues, back issues, etc. If you want to get yourself stronger, you got to push your muscle a bit. The problem that we have when you're in our situation with joints replaced, with dealing with a lot of challenges. I don't care if it's arthritis, osteoporosis, scoliosis, fibromyalgia, you know, these kind of things. You got to find something that's going to push your muscles. Maybe you're not going to push them all at once. Do you see what I'm doing right now while I'm talking? I'm not just doing nothing. I'm doing one of the most important things you can possibly do to get going. Your feet. My feet are barefooted. And as I'm speaking through some of these things, I'm rocking and rolling. And when I go to the heel, my toes come fully off the floor. Then I go into the toe and I lift the heel a little. I don't go all the way up into the toe box. I just want to lift the heel. The whole thing is done breathing through my nose, dropping my shoulders, taking big breaths through the nose, exhaling, keeping my tummy tight, all of that, switching your hand hold. Don't hold on to it like a grip. Just put your hand there. You know, it helps you to hang on to your balance so that you can actually rock and roll. Okay, so now I've been going forward and back, and now I'm going to go side to side, and I'm going to do this while standing. So I have to have my hand on something. As a matter of fact, some of you may need to have your hand on a pole and a chair, on a wall and a pole, on a wall and a chair. You get it, okay? Now, what I want you to do is don't do it all at first. Don't just rip into it, because this rolling that I'm doing right now, barefooted, it's a big deal, okay? Number one, what's your stance? Big breath. When you take that big breath, keep your mouth shut. Okay, here I'm gonna go. See, I'm going to the outside of my foot here and to the inside of my foot here. You gotta soften or bend your knees. You gotta do that. Then I'm gonna roll to the other side. So if you'll hold on both places, you're gonna really get your rolling going. Now, while you're doing this, rocking and rolling from side to side, you got to keep your knees soft. So this is very similar to the moves that you might be doing with your, not so much your feet and your ankles, but with your knees and your body if you were skiing, okay? Now, when you're skiing, yes, you are going to be rolling back and forth with your ankle a little bit, but of course your feet are in a ski boot. And so this kind of motion with your whole foot is important if you want to ski or get the benefits from the skiing motion, okay? And don't just hit it and go. Don't just do it like once or twice and then say, oh, that's enough. You see what I'm doing? I'm acting like a wave. It's almost relaxing. Once you feel, where's all the little issues with my feet, okay? It's because I can tell you when I come to this point right here and I go to the outside of my foot here, I feel a lot of like little popping and cracking, okay? So you might feel that. If it's not painful, don't be too concerned, but go into it knowing how do my feet move from side to side. And see, I'm just rolling with the hips, with the knees, back and forth, then go into that heel, and then go into the toe, okay? If you would do just this, you say, okay, that's all I'm gonna do of that class this morning. And I'm gonna do that, what she just did for the last, I don't know, 5 minutes. I'm gonna just do that pretty much every day, barefooted. Oh my goodness, in 2 weeks, 3 weeks for sure, you'd be feeling a whole different strength coming into your toes, into your feet, into your ankles, okay? So I'm gonna back out of this. I'm gonna back out of this and go into the next thing. However, I'm gonna do a little tiny review. So I'm gonna check my postural stance. You can have your pole in the front. You can do this holding in front of a wall, in front of a chair. This is also a very important thing to do. I'm going to review, not as long as, but go into it. So you see this? I did this quite a bit. Some of you started into this little flutter. See this little flutter I'm doing? And guess what? You did not innervate or tighten your butt. Now, make sure your rear end is very contracted. It's squeezing. As you do this little press, 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 press. I'm going that fast. I know. So this is one of the things I challenge you. Let this be one of your little activities that you do in that 2 minutes. If you can get a full minute, fully contracted in your gluteals, shoulders down, taking breaths, and you're pressing right off the ball of the foot. See, I'm not in my toes, but my heel is fully off the ground while I'm doing this, okay? Now let's don't do it as much as I did before. Go to the heels, pull the toes up. Yeah, pull the toes fully up. Now, soften your knees. Say rib cage up, soften your knees. You're going to hip hinge a little bit and roll. Roll to the outside and inside of your feet. One is outside, one is inside. Take a big breath. Stay upright. The best way to do that is stay rib cage up. You are going to be hip hinged, but not fully out there, because I really want you to roll back and forth. Really get that foot rolling. And some of you are going to be very surprised because you're like, I don't think I can roll my foot like that. So I would just say, if it's hard for you to do standing, then go ahead and sit down and roll your feet from side to side. It's pretty easy to do that if you're sitting, okay? So before I do that, I'm just gonna come here. I'm gonna go through some moves as I talk you down to the ground, or talk you into the wall, or if you're on your bed, you could do all of this that I'm gonna do today on your bed. Absolutely. But we're gonna do our fold. See, I have my little bar here, okay? And I'm gonna do a little fold. So I'm gonna come right down here into the folding position. My elbows are on my knees. Knees are open. Bring the pole, put it right down here. Walk yourself out a little bit, walk yourself back. Put your elbows right on your knees again. Now drop your shoulders. Big breath. Okay, all that work that we just did with going from your toes to your heels, etc., we're gonna do it now. So put your hand down, act like you're walking out, go out far enough that your heels start coming off the ground. Then walk back and your toes come up. Then walk forward and your heels come off the ground. And walk back. I'm just going to do it 3 times. Walk forward, heels off the ground, walk back, toes off the ground. Now grab your pole, push into your heels, and come up. Okay, you should have felt that innervating right here. I've kept you down there long enough to where that you should be feeling. So take your pole, lock your arms around it, hook them. I don't mean lock them around, just hook your shoulders. When you see people out on the golf course like this is a great move, okay? Just put your golf club right back here. When you're walking from one hole to the other, I challenge you. Put your golf club back here, say rib cage up, and walk to the next hole with your arms just right here. Right here. Drop your shoulders. That is giving you a chance to open through the shoulders and your chest. So I'm just walking around a little bit. And then when I come up to the hole, I'm going to turn. And I'm going to turn. See how I'm rotating now? I'm rotating through the knees, through the foot. Get a little pivot going. Okay? Little pivot going. Little pivot going. Take a breath. Take a breath. Take a breath. Okay? Look at that. Ear, shoulder, hip, knee. And you could test yourself with this. Just go up against a wall. Because some of you will be thinking, okay, I've got this. But you don't realize that your head, when you say ear, it's still out here. So if you just take your little pole, this is a good time to do it, put it between your shoulder blades, drop your chin, and touch the back part of your head, not the top of your head, the back part, right back here, okay? Right back here. Now, hold that position, take that rod out. Now you will have known how far forward you're coming or not, okay? So that's a good little primer to do that. Okay, I'm gonna put my pole down and I'm gonna head to the floor. Now, the very first thing that I'm gonna do, you can do every single thing sitting on a chair, okay? So everything that I do, if I get down there and I go into this, okay, you can do it here, all right? So those of you who can get in the floor with me. So we're gonna come down here. I'm gonna get down this way. If you wanna get down from your chair where you're like this, that's perfectly fine. Just be mindful of what you're doing, okay? All the way down. So I'm gonna come here. I'm gonna go this. We've already practiced this. I'm gonna walk out. And see, Mac is already in the floor with me. I don't know if you see him, but he's down here. He's down here right with me. So as I come down here, I'm going to go to the side. I'm gonna set just like this. See that? So if I were in the chair, I would just turn my knees and I would go from side, and then I'm gonna come and go this way to side. Okay? This is my knee replace side. This is my hip replace side. If you did the first part of the class to this move, whether you're in the chair or not, but especially if you're down on the floor, and you could do this on your bed, and you go into here, you see this? I have to have enough strength. I have to tighten my tummy, drop my shoulders, take a breath, push, exhale, and get up here, and then go back down. See that? Okay, this is a very important move to master. Not only to master, to be strong in. If your hands bother you, number one, try to do as much as you can pressing on the palm of the hand, the heel of the hand. But if your wrists are what's keeping you from doing this move because you can't put pressure on your hands, then I want you to put your fist down because that will keep your wrist in neutral. Now, I don't want you to always do that because I want you to build up the strength to in your wrist, in your hands, to be able to handle this, okay? Take a big breath, exhale, drop your shoulders. Okay, here we go. We're fixing to get up. So we got to ready ourselves, right? First thing you got to do is drop your shoulders. Take a breath. Exhale as you push up. Now you're on all fours. Now you're going to go down. You're going to bend those elbows. Okay? Take a breath. Exhale. So I'm using one of the primary positions to train you to be better at getting up. See this? I could go ahead and get up from here, or I could go ahead and do a 3-point stance move and get up from here. But I'm doing hip mobility I'm doing upper body strength. I'm doing core work by doing this. Take a breath. You're coming down, exhale, and you're coming down. See, Mac thinks I'm gonna play with him. Come over here, Mac. Come on. He thinks he's going somewhere. Lay down. Okay, so I'm right here. Okay, now instead of coming back up, I'm gonna go to both elbows. Do you see this move? This takes a lot of flexibility through your back, your hips, and then you've got shoulders to worry about, okay? So I'm gonna stay shoulders down, and now I'm gonna bring my elbows out. I'm gonna turn my head, I'm gonna put my ear on my hands, and I'm gonna release. Take a big breath. Take a big breath, exhale. Then I'm gonna press into my hands. Bring those elbows under you. So this move right here is such an important move. See, today I'm not glossing over some of these positional moves to get you in place to do the real exercise. This is the real exercise. It's just nobody really shows you this. So I'm right here. See, my knees are bent to the side. This is my hip replace side. This is my knee replace side. When I'm in this position, I gotta drop my shoulders. I gotta tighten my tummy. I'm gonna take a breath. I'm gonna go down as I bring my elbows out. Now I'm gonna put my ear, the side of my head, right down on those hands. Drop your shoulders, take a breath. Drop your shoulders, take a breath. Then pull them back in and come right up. That should be a very comfortable position, okay? Now I'm gonna go over and do the other side, and then we're gonna move on, okay? So here my elbows are. So I'm fixing to do a big move. I have to lift my whole body weight off of this position. This is the biggest hurdle in getting yourself up off the floor. So take a big breath, and you're gonna exhale as you tighten your tummy, push into your elbows. Just like that. Bring that leg under you, and you're on hands and knees. See that? Now I can go to the other side. So I'm gonna go under and sit on my hip. See, I'm just right here. So I'm getting good stretches and everything going on right through here. Again, take a breath and drop your shoulders. We keep bringing our shoulders up because we're holding tension. Okay, drop your shoulders. Make your core do this. Make your upper body do this. Okay, I'm gonna come here to my elbow and here to my elbow. See, my knees are bent to the side right here. All right. Now I'm gonna take those elbows out. And I'm gonna turn my head. I'm gonna put my opposite ear, my other ear, down. So here I go. I'm gonna go elbows out. I'm gonna turn and put my ear down. Take a breath and just kind of meld into the ground there. Take a breath. Take a breath, take a breath, take a breath. Then you come up, push into your hands, and then roll your elbows under. You push into your hands. And don't be surprised if on one side you can't quite get your ear down. Okay, that most of us are going to be that way because we have, you know, how we're put together, injuries, etc. Okay, so I'm right here, correct? So now I'm gonna bring my hands under me and I'm gonna push myself up as I exhale. Here I'm on my hands and knees. This is a position we're gonna get into, but we're gonna be flat on our back. It's called the dead bug. That's what it's called. So here I go. So here I am, and you can do that from a chair, or you can do that pushing your hands against a wall. You can do this on a bed. Okay, this one, if you get in position for a dead bug in the chair, do one leg at a time. That's how you do that. So I'm gonna come down. Mac, what's wrong with you? Come on. He won't move. He thinks I'm down here to play with him. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to come back, and I'm going to be right here. And as I go back, if I'm sitting in a chair, this is the first one I showed you, you're going to do one leg at a time. If you're in a chair, you're going to lean back. See, if I were in a chair, I would be leaning back. Then I would bring my one leg up, and I would bring my one leg up. Okay, so I'd do one leg, then I would do the other leg. So if you're sitting in a chair and you can do one leg at a time, do that, all right? So I'm gonna take this and go ahead and lay down. If you're in a chair, you're gonna be in this position. So drop your shoulders, let yourself come right down, and you're gonna bring one leg out here and you're gonna go point, flex, point, flex, point, flex. If you can put your palms up, put your palms up, okay? Then you're gonna bring that leg back in. You could be doing all of this sitting in a chair. Put your foot down. Are you ready? Knee comes in, drop your shoulders, and then you're just going to straighten your leg, but you're not going to go straight up with it. You're just going to be in a lean out. All right, now we're going to start the second action with this leg. Then we'll go back. Take a big breath. So I'm right here, I'm right here, and I'm right here. I can do this sitting in a chair. You're leaning back against the back of the chair, and you're just coming up and down. You're not coming all the way up. You're keeping a really tight tummy, and you're just bringing it up and down. You bring it back in, take the other leg, you go straight, not straight up, but you go straight out, just like that. Point, flex, point, flex. Okay, get ready. You're gonna take a leg down, tap the heel, take a big breath, tap the heel, take a big breath, tap the heel. Now, if you wanted to go to the next step, if you wanted to, all in the world that I will do is raise the opposite leg, this leg. I will take the heel, the foot off the ground, just 1 inch, okay? But in order to do that, let me emphasize, not everybody should do that, okay? Now I'll go down this way so you'll see what I'm doing. See this? See this? My foot is right here off the ground. So I'm gonna bring my knee in and I'm gonna go out with it. And I'm just gonna keep my foot 1 inch off the ground. And I'm gonna go touch, take a breath, touch, take a breath, touch, take a breath, touch, take a breath, touch. Then bring the knees in, okay? Let me caution you. If you choose to do this, the higher challenge, you've got to be real with tightening in and keeping your spine in a neutral position in the ground down here, okay? Yes, you can do this from a chair, absolutely. Take a big deep breath. Now we're going to be hovering with this leg. Tighten in, bring the other leg up and out. And all you're going to do is go down, touch, tighten in. So if I were with you, I'd be poking you right here. And if that is too hard, then just do this move with your heel on the other leg in the floor. See, I have the heel down. Take a breath. Take a breath. My palms are up. Now I'm going to go to the harder challenge where my foot is off the ground. Take a breath. Take a breath. And bring both legs in. Do not get ahead of yourself. If you're feeling it by doing this and you can't get to 2 sets of 10 without it being quite the effort, then this is where you stay. Okay, and then at the very end or at the very beginning, let's say at the very beginning, we'll bring our foot up and we will shoot this out here. We'll do one. Okay, just do one. Now we'll bring this leg up and we'll just hold it here and we'll bring this leg out and we'll do one. See that? Just one. Now put the heel down and continue. That's how you improve on this. If you're shocked at how many, just a few made you tired and you had to put your heel down, this is where you start, okay? Take a big deep breath, exhale, breath, exhale. Bring those legs in. Okay, before we go to the next one, we're gonna rotate. Okay, do the wave. My palms are up. I'm gonna rotate. I'm gonna try to get my knees down as far as possible. Yes, down as far as possible. Okay. Now then, I'm gonna bring my head up. And how am I gonna bring my head up? So when I'm down there, and if you're sitting in a chair, all you've got to do is put your hands behind your head, just like this, and do a retraction back, and now protract out. That's all I want you to do. And you do it with one leg up. That's all I want you to do. See, your feet are here. I want you to protract, okay? Bring one foot up. And then go back down where you're barely touching. Exhale, protraction. Inhale, retraction. Exhale, protraction. And the whole time, if I were with you, I'd be here poking you right here. Okay? Because I want to feel that you've innervated through your tummy, through your diaphragm, through your abdominals. Exhale, protract, retract. Now switch. Other leg comes up. Protract, retract. Take a breath. Really tighten. Now keep the tummy tight as you go into protraction and retraction. And you notice I have one foot hanging up in the air here, right here. Take a breath. Exhale. Woo. Exhale. Protract, retract. One more. Protract, retract. Yes. Now, one of the most important things to do while you're doing a section like this is to let those legs go down. And you can do this up against a wall. So if you're not getting in the floor, just go up against the wall, put the backs of your hands back against the wall. And you should be touching the back of your head, your shoulders, and your butt. Just right at the butt cheeks. That's it. Now I want you to just kind of hang out there. Okay, just let yourself kind of like melt into the wall or melt into the floor. Just be there. So this repositioning, making sure that you're touching the back of the head, the shoulder blades, and right at your hips, the butt. Okay, take breaths. Exhale. So when you breathe through your nose, I need to see the belly coming up and then pushing down. Okay, that's how you train deep breathing or diaphragmatic breathing. Okay, you can do it against the wall, perfectly fine. And just hang out there for a bit. Then we're going to do our famous roll. You got that? We're going to roll. See, I'm rolling just like Mac is rolling. He heard me say his name. He heard me say his name. Okay. So all the rest of the next segment that we're going into right this moment, if you're standing, if you're not laying in the floor, then you need to get yourself up against the wall. with your face toward the wall, okay? So your face is toward the wall, just like our belly and our face is gonna be toward the floor. Come here, Mac. Mac, come here. He just stands right in the middle of the floor. This is working out with your dog in real time. Okay, so here I am, and this whole tutorial that I'm doing, I've done many times, but I want to check to make sure I get all the moves in. That's why I refer back. Okay, so I'm right here on my elbows. Remember that? This right here is the position that I want people. So again, try this for even 7 days, okay? When you get up in the morning, you're sleeping. Some of us are back sleepers, side sleepers, tummy sleepers, whatever sleeper you are. Roll yourself over and just put your elbows under yourself, okay? Keep your chin tucked and just be in this position. Now, if you want to meld into this position, I would go get my pillows and just stuff them right under here, okay? I would just stuff them right under here. And I would just put my ear to the pillow, then I'd put my ear to the pillow. Be in this position, okay, for maybe a minute, maybe 3 minutes, maybe 5 minutes while you're waking up. Just give it a try, okay? So once I'm in this position, do you see how my elbow's under me? Okay, I'm gonna bring one elbow back at a time. And if you're against the wall, you're doing a hyperextension, okay? You're pushing your hips toward the wall and your shoulders away from the wall, your head away from the wall, okay? Just stay in that position for a bit. Then let yourself go into the wall and then pull back, just like we're going to. My feet are on the floor, okay? They're not up yet. But I'm gonna take one hand back at a time, and I'm gonna try to maintain this up position, okay? I'm gonna try to maintain from my chest up. All right, so I'm gonna do one at a time. So right now I'm gonna start squeezing my butt, squeezing my tummy, keeping my chin tucked. Now both arms are up here. See that? And I'm gonna hang out here for a bit. And I'm gonna do just little taps. See that? So I'm working between the shoulders, but I'm maintaining this position. Wow, my rear end is really contracted. Okay, I'm just gonna be squeezing the shoulders, keeping them down. Take a breath, pull down, take a breath, pull down, take a breath, pull down. Now just hold it here and just pump your hands. See, I'm just touching up, squeezing, breath, 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 breath. Mac is looking at me like, what in the world are you doing? Okay, bring your hands up here. Okay, now we're up here. And we're gonna do the same thing with the lower body, the legs. All right, and I haven't been in this position to do these for a while, but these are very important. Okay, we did some of these, this very move we did yesterday, standing up against the chair. So you can do all of this standing against the wall or at your chair, okay? So I'm gonna, first of all, tuck my chin, forehead is down. I'm gonna bring my hands right here, put my forehead right on my hands. And the first thing I'm gonna do before I do any leg lifting is, you guessed it, I'm gonna tighten in my gluteal, okay? So forehead down, tighten my tummy, tighten my gluteal, lift one leg, and hold it up there. And just go 1, 2, 3, it's a little fan, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2 more, 3 more, 9, 1 more. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Keep your rear end really squeezing and then release. Now, before you do the other leg, just roll and roll. Trust me, put this move in there. And if you're at the wall, hold on to the wall. Roll and then roll. And you're going to get dizzy. It's okay. Okay? And if you're hanging onto the wall, you'll be fine. And if you're in the floor, you'll be fine. Because you don't have very far to fall. Okay? See, I'm going to go back and forth. And now I'm going to go back to my position. I'm going to drop my shoulders, put my forehead on my hands. And then I'm going to squeeze my other gluteal, tighten my tummy, and then lift that whole leg up from the hip. The big mistake that a lot of people make here is they bend at the knee. Don't bend at the knee. Not on this one, okay? Not on this one. Take a big deep breath. Okay, tighten the tummy. Forehead down. Tighten the gluteal, lift. And hold that position. And then do your little taps. Just tap. Take a breath. Take a breath through the nose. Keep your gluteal very tight. Breath. Keep going. Okay, we're down to the last 3. Hang on. Tighten. 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 Tighten that hip and down. And here we go. Bring your hands up or under or however you have to and roll. And then roll back. And then roll. And then roll back. Okay, and if you get a little dizzy, it'll calm down. This is a very essential thing for us to keep doing because it helps to reset that vestibular function, okay, in your ear, in your inner ear. Okay, are you ready? We are on our side. So I'm going to do some side bridging. So a lot of times when you have a hip replaced and a knee replaced and or you have feet issues, you kind of avoid a lot of stuff that involves your hip. Well, a side hip bridge is kind of an important thing to keep being able to do. Now, if you're in the floor, you're going to have to do a side bridge one way or the other to get your little self up off the floor, okay? So let's just do it right now. So I'm right here. My knees are bent. And you're going to see this demonstrated everywhere from your feet. Well, I think it's grand. It's a great move. However, when you have knees and hips replaced and you're not too sure about those bionic parts, it changes the way you move. So I want you to go from your knee here. That's doable, okay? So my hands are right here. I'm gonna got my elbow down here. My shoulder is dropping right to my elbow. I do not let my elbow come out here. That would be hurtful on your shoulder. So the shoulder is right above your elbow, number 1. Take a breath. Number 2, exhale, take a breath, tighten. Now you're going to push off the elbow into your hand and you're going to lift your hip right there. And you're going to put your hand out here and you're going to be here for just a couple of seconds. Take a breath, take a breath, take a breath, and go back down. See that? Yeah, we're going to do it again. We're going to do it 3 times, okay? And we're going to hold. So first of all, make sure your shoulder is under there. Got it? Tight tummy. Got it? Take a breath. Push into the hand and the elbow. Lift. And then release that one hand. And you're out there. And you're going to hold. Maybe 3 counts. Maybe you can hold it for 10 seconds. I don't know. Take a breath and then come down. Okay? We got one more. If this is bothering you, come off of it and turn out of it. Just release that tension. Then go back in. Okay? Elbow is right under the shoulder. Are you ready? Here we go. Drop your shoulders. Tight tummy. Press and press. Up. Right here. Big breath. Big breath. Big breath. Big breath. Big breath. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. And come back down. Okie dokie. Now, before we turn to the other side, we're going to do a leg swing. If you're not in the floor with us, if you're up on a wall or at a chair, we've done many leg swings. So just stabilize yourself, and you're going to bring your leg up and come back. See that? So it's an up and it's a back. And it's an up. See how I'm swinging? And I'm pointing my toe, and then I'm dorsiflexing, and then I'm pointing, and then I'm dorsiflexing. So I'm in control of this swing, okay? Just like if you're standing at a wall, you can be in control of the foot placement. Make sure you watch your shoulder, keep your shoulder in, okay? Take a breath. Just see how that hip is moving, okay? Just see how it's moving. Take a breath. And bring it back in. Okay, you should be feeling that through here. Full range, right there. Okay, then we're going to come in here. And we're going to go to the other side. I know. God knew what he was doing when he only gave us 2 sides to deal with. I can hear them now. That's about all they can handle. Okay, see this? Shoulder is over my elbow. That's number 1. Shoulder is down. Number 2, breathing through your nose. Yes. Hand is right here. First thing I'm going to do is tighten my tummy. Keep my shoulders dropped, and I'm going to bring my hip off the ground. Got it? Tighten your tummy, breath, and exhale, and you lift, and then you bring that hand out here. And you hang around out here, and you just keep hanging around until you count to 3. If you can make 5, if you can make 8, if you can make 10, then go down gently, okay? So I'm back here, I'm only gonna do 3. Are you ready? Knees are here, elbows here, hand is here, Mac is here. I'm sorry, Mac, lay back down. Go on, lay down, lay down. Okay, are you ready? Drop your shoulders, take a breath. Tight tummy, exhale, lift. Bring that hand out. Hold it out there, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. Take a breath, hang on. Take a breath. Hang on just a couple more seconds, just a couple, come down. If this shoulder is bothering you, just come off of it and bring it back. See that? It releases all that tension. Take a breath. And if these are pushing you, good. I'm right here doing them with you. Okay? It's so much better to do it with somebody. Okay, even though I know you're out there, I'm not watching you specifically, but I kind of know what's going on. Okay, elbows down. That should feel a lot better. We got one more to do. We're going to keep our knees right back here. Hand, elbow is under my shoulder. Take a breath. Push into the hands, elbow, and lift the hip. Then release that front hand. And you're going to hang out here for a little bit. Just hang out here. Take a breath. 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 Come down and come down. There you go. Bring those feet right here. Now, when I did the laying down position, which anybody with osteoporosis diagnosed, I would challenge you, try for 5 minutes, then try for 10 minutes, and then try for 15 minutes. Just laying there in the floor. You'd be listening to something, a podcast, have a TV show on, whatever it takes, because that's how you realign yourself. Do you realize there are so many people that I have dealt with in my career and that I know cannot lay down flat on the floor? They cannot. They have a forward head. They have rounded shoulders. And for me to have them put their head down, it ain't going to happen. So I would encourage you, don't avoid this. Use a little 1 inch or a 2 inch little platform to help you. And then little by little, spend more time trying to put your head down without the pillow. So I'm going to put it under just to show you. See? And to get down, if you're one of those people that it's very difficult for you to get in the floor and to lay flat into the floor, then I already suspect that you might have some real inflexible spine, inflexible shoulders, inflexible legs. And for me to take you and just put you flat down, that might be too much. So just come here. We've already done this. We did a whole bunch of these rolls. Just come to the side and roll. And then once you're down there, see if that pillow is helpful or if it's too much. The idea is I want you to get to where you can totally put your head and you're on your occipital bone. Your shoulder blades are touching and your little butt cheeks are touching. But you see, I'm not touching here, okay? Because that's a neutral spine. Then I'll bring my hands up and just drop my shoulders. Breathe through my nose and let the diaphragm come up and then drop. Diaphragm come up and drop. Take a big deep breath. Point and flex those toes. And get to where you can actually lay in the floor for 5 to 10 minutes, keeping your shoulders, keep adjusting. Your shoulders are down. Okay, make sure your occipital bone is the only part touching, not up here. Okay, so that's what I want you to really practice doing. Now, before we leave, I never get up off the floor without I do this, and I bring my head up. I don't try to bring my nose to my knees or anything. All I do is bring my leg in. I tighten my tummy, drop my shoulders, take a breath, exhale, and just bring your head off the ground while you're pointing and flexing. See, that's all I'm doing. I'm not asking you to try to touch your nose to your knee or anything. I just want you to get your head elevated in a protraction. And I'm going to do one leg at a time. And again, you can do this sitting in a chair. You can do this against a wall. So I'm going to bring my knee up. And then what am I going to do? I'm going to take a breath, drop my shoulders, tighten my tummy, and do a protraction move. See that? I'm just hanging on. Take a breath, point flex around your ankles, point flex. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Take a breath, and then go down. That should really push you through your whole neck. Okay, so bring your knees in, rotate a little to the side and a little to the side. You know why? This little tiny rotation back and forth gets you in touch with your tummy muscles. Yeah, your abdominals. Drop your shoulders, take a breath. Just a little tiny, roll to the side, roll to the side. Then take one leg up, just one. Try to grab that toe. If you can't grab the toe, grab the calf and pull it in gently, gently, gently. Take a breath. Bring that down, bring the other leg up, and reach up as far as you can to your ankle, your calf, to your toe. Pull that in there. Take a big deep breath, drop your shoulders, pull, 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 pull. Release, and then you can either roll up if you're to that point, or you roll to the side and you roll up that way, okay? So I'm going to rock and roll. I like to do a rock and roll, but somebody has to work up to that, okay? And that's okay to do. Then I'm gonna turn. I'm gonna get on my hands and knees. I can use my chair or not. Flare my feet, tighten my tummy, push, equalize. So I'm right here. Take a big deep breath, and then you come up to standing. So I hope you got your rock and roll on today. Anyway, I hope you were able to follow a lot of that stuff and feel so much better. Okay, we'll see ya.